fastest 4G network.
An overhaul for government's procurement system. The sudden death of a 17-year-old shocked family and work colleagues. And in sports, Weymouth Wales are the new BFA knockout champ.
The CBC Headline News, brought to you by Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. In our top story at 7, government is revamping its procurement system for greater efficiency and transparency, and at the same time, it's saving some money. This revelation from Finance Minister Chris Sinclair at the 3rd Sub-Regional Caribbean Public Procurement Conference at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. He was addressing public sector procurement officials from across the Caribbean and private sector representatives. Minister Sinclair says sound public procurement policies and practices are vital components of a country's sustained growth and development.
A public procurement system that is transparent, effective, and efficient, and delivers value for money in the public expenditure is mandatory, we believe, for good governance and democracy. Its practice must also speak to the concepts of equality of treatment, fairness and consistency, and the predictability, while encouraging wide and unfettered participation by those who seek to access its offerings.
Minister Sinclair says training is an essential part of the process.
For those who might not know outside of this room, there are in fact disciplines, academic discipline in the area of government procurement. And this is really important. So that any training being offered under the model of supply chain management that gives you certification in procurement will be absolutely critical to the process that we are doing. Equally as well for the ongoing training of officers who come into contact with this particular area and discipline.
A $150,000 US program is being hailed a key project to boost local agricultural production. The program, which is a joint project by the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic and the OAS, was launched this morning on the Polytechnic's Wildy compound. It will cover organic, hydroponic and hybrid system growing for Caribbean schools. Administrative Officer with the OAS, Erica Watson, shared some of the expected benefits of the program.
It is important because it can continue to grow crops even with adverse weather conditions and other natural disasters, allowing farmers to continue to put food on the table and the shelves within 40 days. Most importantly, it allows crops to grow independent of the seasonality of the rainfall conditions.
Meantime, Education Minister Ronald Jones hopes it will ensure continuous production locally.
I'm saying that we have to ensure that when we start, we don't stop. We just don't grow comfortable. Because in this region, we grow comfortable. That's what happens. We get things going and then we sit back. Oh, it is happening. But we have to be constantly dynamic. Look for that agitation in our spirit so that we keep going and keep doing and refining and finding the best ways and means of doing things.
The sudden death of 17-year-old Azariah Lewis has thrown his family and friends into mourning and shock. The former Lodge School student who was working at Esso Black Rock was said to be a sign of health and happiness leading up to last night when he collapsed. We have more in this report.
What caused the death of 17-year-old Azariah Lewis? That is the million-dollar question, one that has left his mother, Paulette Stewart, in the dark. When CBC visited the family of the former Lodge School student this afternoon, the air was heavy. His mother shared memories of who she described as a perfect son.
He never missed a drink or a little or a smoke or anything. He was the best thing you could want. I'm telling you, no trouble at all. I had no trouble with him. He was a wonderful boy.
Have you thought since it happened about what could have caused the collapse?
I don't know. He was never sick. He was not a sick child. He merely used to get cold off and on, but not even too regular. Nothing. He wasn't sick. He leave here that day happy and laughing and play with me and run away down to catch the bus to go work. And then they call me after 8 and he collapsed one day. I believe that. I can't believe my son just gone to say that.
Over by his former workplace at Esso Blackrock, Azariah's colleagues, who described him as quiet, nice and hard-working, were still reeling in shock. He was an attendant since October 2015 and was working the 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift when he suddenly collapsed and subsequently died. This was said to occur between 7:30 and 7:45 last night. Councillors were called to attend to workers who were present when it happened, and all 6 attendants scheduled to work this morning were allowed to stay home to grieve. Azariah was planning to begin studies in electrical installation this September. Denise Blackman, CBC News.
Well, the second year of the male-targeted event ManUp has been hailed as a success by organizers. The 3-day event, which ended Sunday, drew an even bigger crowd than last year, and patrons were enthusiastic to witness and take part in the many activities offered.
Cars, muscles and testosterone were the highlights as activities continued on Sunday afternoon. These vehicles were all lined up and raring to go in the parking lot of the Concord Experience. Their owners were preparing for the Moccasin Car Sound Off competition to find the vehicle with the loudest and best sounding set. You could feel the rivalry among most of the men, and although Earl Simpson was just in it for the fun, he came prepared.
2 massive 12s, 2 410s, and 2 7,000 precision power, and 2 Tarams.
Gavin Messier was last year's winner, and for 2016 he went green. His truck is now outfitted with solar panels, which power his battery, and a big sound.
I'm running 2 15s. As you can see, some Tarams and what's not. The system we like to promote is like clean music, no distortion.
The CrossFit Challenge, organized by CrossFit 246, also attracted a lot of attention, with the fittest of the fit competing in a test of stamina. Overall, men of all ages, and some females also, seemed more than satisfied with the 3rd day of activities. There was fitness, tools, food, technology, drinks, cars and fashion, as well as health testing and information by the Barbados Family Planning Association and other health points inside the Concord building. CBC's MCTV was also there, spreading the word about IPTV, which will soon allow MCTV subscribers to watch their channels on the go.
Be it your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, Android. You install on an Android device or your smart TV. Just download the app from Google Play.
One of the event's organizers, Alex McDonald, says the turnout was great, and he stresses the importance of an event catering exclusively to men.
It doesn't mean that we don't want women around. It means we want women who can accept the fact that we're being men. At that time, we're not being the husband, we're not being the father, we're just being the man.
The planning team is aiming for an entire week of activities next year. Denise Blackman, CBC News.
Health Minister John Boyce says the number of centenarians in Barbados shows the country has a long life expectancy. He made the comments this morning at Gardens in Maxwell Christchurch, where Barbados' newest centenarian, Alicia Waith, celebrated her birthday. She was visited by Acting Governor General Sir Philip Graves. Miss Waith has 5 children, 4 daughters and 1 son. Now, one of those daughters, Anne Gittins, describes her mother as a caring lady.
Everything she had, she will share. The whole family depended on her because she was so giving. She would always give and do without. That's the type of mom my mom was and is up to now.
Coming up, we'll tell you what the Dean at UWI is encouraging local businesses to do.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153 # to sign up to Digicel today.
Sun Power on water systems.
I had some problems with my solar water heater. The collector was leaking. I called the original agency and said, well, they can't do anything about it because the system is bad and they will have to install a new system. I didn't hear back from them. Then I called Sun Power. I went to Monday, paid some money, and by Thursday it was on.
Yes, your Sun Power.
CBC is streaming Cropover 2016 live. Enjoy the color, the excitement, and the spirit of the Barbados Cropover Festival. Join CBC and celebrate your culture as we showcase our pride. Simply log on to www.cbc.bb, sign up and book your favorite event, Soca Royale, Biggity Crop Finals, Grand Kadooment, and so much more. You can watch the sweetest summer festival from anywhere. Log on to www.cbc.bb and book today. With CBC, Cropover is only a click away. Payments can be made by credit card via PayPal. CBC, your link to the festival.
You're gonna modify my voice, right? I was working for a germ cartel. Orders would trickle down and out, contaminated duvet. They start an outbreak in a classroom, you name it. When I first saw Lysol Max cover, it didn't seem like anything to worry about. But holy smokes, its 2 times wider coverage is impossible to escape. I've witnessed this thing decimate entire bacteria populations on couches, ottomans, and sectionals. Now that Max cover exists, I hide, but no place is truly safe. It works on so many surfaces. It's only a matter of time. Oh, crap.
Distributed by Bryden Stokes.
Rio de Janeiro.
For the first time, the Olympics are coming to South America, and Rio is hosting the party. Witness the true test of perseverance, determination, commitment, and teamwork. CBC is giving you all the access to the action of Rio 2016. CBC is an official broadcast partner of the Rio 2016 Summer Olympic Games.
There's an appeal for companies to give financial assistance to their student employees. It comes from Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Justin Robinson. Speaking at the launch of a new funding scheme to help students in the faculty, Dr. Robinson said a high number of the students affected by the self-financing tuition fees are those who work.
In our faculty, we've seen about a 30% reduction in enrollment in the last 2 years, which is quite significant. And interestingly, over 90% of that fallout has been among working people. So the persons coming from the sixth forms, community colleges, those people are here in roughly the same numbers as before the fees, but most of the fallout is in working people who are really your employees. And we are hoping that we can structure some mechanisms where corporations can help to fund their employees continuing their education.
Campus Registrar Kenneth Walters says one of the challenges faced over the years is finding sufficient resources to keep their bright students in the system.
We have a number of very talented young people in the system who, because of financial challenges, they're not able to sustain themselves in the system. And for me, that is a worrisome thing, because I think that we want to give anybody who has the capacity to go on to be someday another Winston Moore, another Justin Robinson, another campus chairman, basically, to have the opportunity to build that potential.
When children reach 11 years old, moving from primary to secondary school is not the only major change in their lives. Whether they know it or not, their status in the eyes of the law also changes. Well, that's one of the things they found out in a program designed to keep them out of the criminal justice system while enabling them to fulfill their potential. Ken Jerson has that story.
The 11 Plus program is a collaborative effort involving the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, Supreme Court Registrar Barbara Cook-Aline, and the Royal Barbados Police Force, among others. At its appreciation ceremony, where many of the young participants are awarded, emphasis is placed on the need for children to be mindful that their actions have consequences. That takes on new meaning when they reach 11 years old, as Police Sergeant Jamal Mohan points out when he talks about his interaction with the youngsters.
We spoke about the criminal responsibility in Barbados, the age of being criminal liable, which is 11 years old. That was also a shock to most persons. Most children did not know you can be charged at 11 years in Barbados. I guess some parents, looking at the faces, also are shocked now too.
The children are also made aware of other ways they can easily run afoul of the law, as identified by the Supreme Court Registrar.
One of the things that can be as well is the use of the cell phone. Yes, Computer Misuse Act looks at how we can actually curb that when it comes to a crime. And we try to make sure that they're aware that this technology can be misused and have them in trouble. They're taking pictures of themselves in an obscene way, that themselves is a crime. If it's on your phone, you didn't actually take it, it's also a crime at your feet. And let them know exactly what can happen to them.
All this, says Director of the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, Cheryl Willoughby, is intended to reach the children early enough to keep them on the straight and narrow.
But I'm a strong advocate of primary crime prevention, reaching the vulnerable before they actually get themselves involved in any area of the criminal justice system.
And recognizing the critical role parents play, components of the program are geared towards them too.
How to be good parents, some of the challenges you have experienced, how to deal with them, how to network, how to get involved in some of the other activities within the school system. So parents are very important to the process.
More than 700 children, mostly from the northern zone of the island, participated in the program. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
Well, after having to fight for her life just a few years ago, 11-year-old Kiana Banfield has battled her way back to not only sit the common entrance exam, but to pass for the foundation school.
In 2013, Kiana suffered from a mysterious disease which caused her to face toxic shock syndrome, organ failure, cardiomyopathy, osteoporosis, and osteomyelitis. Kiana had to be airlifted to the United States, where doctors conducted a number of surgeries in an effort to save her life. Young Kiana, a student at Christchurch Girls, was away from her school for 2 years because she was recovering from her illness, but she never gave up. The well-spoken prefect told CBC News she was elated to gain a place at Foundation, considering everything she has been through.
I knew that as long as I had the courage to do it and I believed that I could do it, I would be able to get into a good school.
Kiana says the only person happier than her about the result is her mother.
I would say she's a lot happier than me. Not saying I'm not happy about the school I got into, but she was excited when I told her about my results. She was out there in the car, and I ran to her. I was like, "Mommy, I got in foundation," and she snatched the paper out of my hand and was bouncing up and down in the car, and she shut the car, and my granny was in there, and she was so happy for me that she actually started to cry. So I think that my mother is very excited.
Although Kiana now is healthy, she has not forgotten her experience, saying it has made her realize she wants to be a nurse when she gets older.
While I was in school, I realized that nurses really sacrifice a lot of time and a lot of effort helping their patients, or even many people that just come into the hospital for a sprained ankle or a broken finger, or maybe something as small as a headache, like that's really bothering them. And I realized that all of the help that the nurses gave to me and how much time and effort they sacrificed to help me, that I realized that all of that was just for me.
With September just around the corner, Kiana says she will be mainly looking forward to learning new things when she starts her new school.
Well, still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. Stay with us.
Naturally better or just